They say a good jab will take you around the world, which brings me on to my first tip. You need to get really intentful and almost trigger happy with your straight shots. Being able to throw intentful fast, straight shots can overwhelm opponents, score points, they're hard to defend, and they can land really well clean shots. Your straight shots can control the range and distance, it can help you get in and out, and as I say, it will help you score the points needed and make you look like a clean boxer. Now you've got to think, straight shots are harder to see when they're coming from down the middle, because I don't have to wind them up and show my opponent that the punch is coming. Because when you throw a hook, if you're looking for that power shot, they're a little bit easier to defend without the setup because your opponent can see it. Whereas with straight shots, we can go from point A to point B, back to point A as soon as possible. So if you're going to practice any punches, practice your straight shots. Also, before I show you the next 2 tips, if you check the link in the description, you can join my free online boxing forum with loads of tips, guides and workouts for you to go and steal. Otherwise, let's crack on with the video. Now, equally to land your straight shots, you have to be able to move your feet in and get back out too so you don't get hit. Which brings me on to my second tip today. Learn to box with your feet and not your hands. Just think about it. Your feet control the distance. From here you can see I can't land a punch, I'm out of range. For me to get into range, it does not make sense to lean forward like this, because now I'm off balance and it takes longer for me to come back away from my opponent and they can catch me off balance. If I get caught off balance, I can get knocked down and that's not what I want. So I can use my feet to come in with them punches and close the gap. Not only can I close the gap, I've come in, I can also step back out. Because remember, boxing is a game of hit and don't get hit. So you've got to think about what distance you're at, because that will also deter when your opponent can hit you, what punches they can land on you, and also what punches you can throw and which ones you can land. Because if I'm all the way back here, I'm at a good position for straight shots, but to throw a hook, I can't land it without slapping it, and that's not a scoring point. So for me to land that hook, I might have to step in. And equally, if I'm up close to my opponent like this, I can't throw straight shots from here. My arms can't go straight. So I've got to work on them tight, short shots on the inside. So you have to learn to box with your feet, because you can also not just move in and out, but around the side of your opponent and gain angle advantages against them. So when you train boxing, always think about your footwork and train footwork more than anything, because that's what's going to help you land all your punches and not get hit as much. Now, my third and final tip is specifically good if you're new to sparring or if you've got less experience and you spar better experienced boxers. This tip is definitely for you, because this helped me when I first started boxing. What I'm talking about is you need to use your attack as one of your defenses. When I used to spar and I weren't as experienced, I used to freeze up in sparring and wait too long and just let my opponent basically land any shot they wanted on me. I was just a punch bag for them. I wasn't doing anything. I was freezing up, tensing and unsure of what to do. So if you throw punches first before your opponent and get comfortable with doing that, throwing combinations first, that can be really awkward for your opponent, because they then have to react to you and adjust to your pattern, which makes it really hard. You take them out of the comfort zone and you take them off rhythm. Just check this. I can punch this bag and push it back, just like an opponent. Let's say I throw that 1-2-1 jab cross jab and my opponent goes back. Equally, notice with the bag, let's pretend this is an opponent, the bag does swing back at some point. So I need to do something about that. So what if I go boom, 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 push them back, and then I throw again. Just before they come back in, I'm going first. I'm throwing them combinations and I'm using my attack as a form of defense. Because if my punches stop them from throwing their punches, then that is me using a defense method with my own attack. So the key thing is, be first sometimes, don't be afraid to be first, and use that attack as one of your forms of defense. Now, that's 3 of my best tips, which you can go and apply, and you will improve at boxing straight away. If you enjoyed this one, I'd recommend watching this video next, as it will really help you out.